National Parks, written by Julie Mettenberg. Your special place. Imagine stumbling upon a special place in the wilderness that's all your own. As you pick your way across a slick log, you can hear cool water trickling in a stream below. The sun reflects off the Red Canyon walls, while an eagle soars quietly overhead. Dry grasses rustle around the perfect hiding spot, and gazelles leap in the distance. Untouched places like this are becoming rare as humans use more and more land for farming, housing, and taking resources. But thankfully, many nations of the world have preserved areas of wilderness as national parks. In national parks, you can still find your own special place. The value of parks. Protected lands are important for many reasons. Many national parks protect a rich diversity of plants and animals that might otherwise be changed by human development. In a protected area, native plants and animals can exist without interference by humans. Endangered animals can survive without the threat of habitat destruction and hunting. Many parks protect cultures and their histories. In the world's national parks, you can see artifacts, or objects left behind from past civilizations. Some preserve an ancient way of life still in practice. National parks also provide wild, untouched places where people can get away from it all. Visitors can view rare wildlife, unique landforms, ancient artifacts, and pieces of their own history. They also can surround themselves with the beauty of nature through hiking, backpacking, camping, and other activities. The United States Congress gets the credit for setting aside the first national park in 1872. President Ulysses S. Grant signed the bill creating Yellowstone National Park in Wyoming, Idaho, and Montana. The new law recognized the unique and fragile beauty of Yellowstone's steaming geysers, pools of bubbling mud, and abundant wildlife. Today, hundreds of countries around the world have joined the preservation effort. There are more than 1,000 areas of preserved land around the world. Now that you know a little about national parks, let's explore a few up close. Maybe one of these will contain your special place. Do you know? Around the world, there are many types of sites that are protected by the government. Here are just a few of the designations you might see: National Park, National Monument, National Forest, Game Preserve, World Heritage Site, National Reserve, Preservation Area. World-famous wonder, Serengeti National Park and Masai Mara Reserve. Tanzania and Kenya, films and photographs from the Serengeti are perhaps the most famous images of Africa. Dry grasses rustle across broad landscapes colored brown, red, and orange by the African sun. Lions, gazelles, zebras, and antelope lounge peacefully on the immense plains. In 1913, an American hunter found the Serengeti, still unknown to Westerners, and introduced it to the world. But the Maasai people have called it home for thousands of years. They herd cattle and live in traditional villages in the Kenyan portion of the park. The Maasai are famous for their beautiful red clothing, jewelry, and body paint. To the Maasai, the Serengeti has always been Serengetu, the place where the land goes on forever. The Serengeti is one of the oldest and largest savannas, or dry grasslands, on Earth. It is the last home of many of the most famous African animals. Every year, hundreds of thousands of wildebeests and zebras migrate or move across the plains following the seasonal rains. Amazing predators, including lions, crocodiles, cheetahs, and hyenas, follow them. Several of the Serengeti's animals, including rhinos, cheetahs, and some antelopes, are severely endangered. Without the park to protect their habitat, these creatures would probably become extinct. A country's proud heritage, Santa Rosa National Park. Costa Rica. Costa Rica, a tiny country in Central America, includes many natural and cultural treasures. In Santa Rosa Park, many of these special features come together. First, there is the Pacific coastline, where many endangered sea turtles gather by the thousands to nest. The ocean by these beaches is also known for good surfing. A country's proud heritage, Santa Rosa National Park. Costa Rica. Costa Rica, a tiny country in Central America, includes many natural and cultural treasures. In Santa Rosa Park, many of these special features come together. First, there is the Pacific coastline, where many endangered sea turtles gather by the thousands to nest. The ocean by these beaches is also known for good surfing. Other urban getaways. 1. Theodore Roosevelt Birthplace, National Historic Site, New York City. 2. Gateway National Recreation Area, New York City. 3. Jefferson National Expansion Memorial, St. Louis, Missouri. 4. Golden Gate National Recreation Area, San Francisco, California. A whale of a place, Saguenay-St. Lawrence National Marine Conservation Area of Canada. Quebec, Canada. Mountains rise up from the shores of Saguenay Fjord, a narrow but extremely deep arm of the sea. From the east, the St. Lawrence Estuary flows into the fjord. An estuary is where fresh water from a river mixes with salt water from the ocean. In the fjord, waters of different temperatures and saltiness form layers, and each layer supports its own kind of wildlife. This unusual mix of water forms the whole park. It's entirely underwater. The mix of fresh water and salt water in the fjord provides many nutrients that attract all sorts of sea creatures. Plankton, fish, birds, and mammals all call it home. Many species of whale, including minke, fin, pilot, humpback, and blue whales, come here during warmer months. The rare beluga, or white whale, lives here year-round. Seals, fish, and invertebrates, such as crabs and shellfish, are also abundant. So, how do you visit an underwater park? Many people choose to get close to whales and other animals by boat. The park offers whale watches and trips on kayaks, small canoe-like boats. Visitors also can go scuba diving, hiking, and ice fishing. Unique spots around the world. Volcanoes National Park, Hawaii, USA. In this park, you can view the world's largest, most active volcano. Visitors watch as red-hot glowing lava rolls in fiery streams from the volcano. When it falls into the ocean, it sends up plumes of steam. This is the formation of the island up close. Wilderness areas also provide hiking and camping among Hawaii's unique landscapes and plants. Everglades National Park, Florida, USA. Alligators glide through the wetlands of North America's largest subtropical wilderness. Fragile swamps, grasslands, and marshy coastline are preserved here. Rare mammals, such as the Florida panther and the manatee, also flourish. Sareks National Park, Sweden. Sweden was the first country in Europe to create national parks. This one, far north above the Arctic Circle, is Western Europe's largest area of wilderness. It is filled with majestic mountains and glaciers. It is also home to the Sami, or Lapp people, who herd reindeer. Tassili N'Ajjer National Park, Algeria. Algeria, in northern Africa, is situated in the fierce Sahara Desert. The landscape wasn't always desert, however, and past civilizations left behind more than 15,000 drawings and engravings in caves and on the sides of cliffs. The art documents the history of humans since 6000 BC. Parks under siege. Often, it is difficult for countries to set aside useful land to establish national parks. Even after a national park is established, many threats can face preserved lands. In poor countries, people often use parklands for growing crops, grazing livestock, and gathering firewood to feed hungry people. If there is war or political troubles, people fleeing the violence often damage fragile environments. Some preserved lands hold gold mines of sorts, oil fields, mineral resources, or forests for logging. Many people believe that these resources should be used to create economic growth, and governments occasionally agree. Even in a well-protected national park, too many visitors can cause plenty of problems, from leaving behind litter, to trampling trails, to polluting the air with snowmobile exhaust. It also can be difficult to experience the wilderness while surrounded by people. For all of the above reasons, national parks can become spoiled. Yet this reinforces their importance. Most areas of the world already have been changed by human industry and development. National parks are some of the last areas that have not been affected by human development. If future generations are to find their own special natural places, then people around the world must work to preserve these national treasures.